A backlash over a viral video of a lecture which led the president of Texas A&M University to step down from his position today. In the video, you can hear a student pushing back against a professor when it comes to a lesson about children's literature, gender, sexuality, and more. Take a listen.
I'm not entirely sure this is legal to be teaching because according to our president, there's only two genders, and he said that he would be freezing agencies funding programs that promote gender ideology.
If you are uncomfortable in this class, you do have the right to leave.
Yes.
What we are doing is not illegal.
Now, before resigning, the school's president, Mark Welsh, fired that professor and others in that department, but then pressure mounted with the lieutenant governor of Texas saying that the president of the university, Welsh's, quote, ambivalence on the issue and his dismissal of the students' concerns by immediately taking the side of the professor is unacceptable, unquote. Let's get into this with the panel. So Brian Harrison is the Texas state representative who posted the video that went viral. He's a Republican. He posted on, quote, as the first elected official to call for him, meaning President Welsh, to be fired. This news is welcome, although overdue now, and he wrote in all, I think it's in all caps, yeah, end all DEI and LGBTQ indoctrination in Texas. Mo, you think this mimics Trump's playbook when it comes to, and not just the all caps of it all, but when it comes to higher ed?
Yeah, 100%. And in a subsequent tweet after that one, he said, now let's get a conservative president in here, right?
At Texas A&M University.
At Texas A&M. That's sort of saying the quiet part out loud. Look, I spent my life working in politics, very partisan. Now I work at a university, and I believe in my bones that universities should be places where there should be more ideological diversity. I'm a Democrat. I bring Republicans to speak on campus all the time so that our students can engage with them. And that's, over the past week, what's been so one of the many reasons the Charlie Kirk murder is so tragic to me is because it took place on a college campus where there's supposed to be a free exchange of ideas.
And he was murdered for his ideas.
For his ideas,
yeah,
while debating people for them. That's what you're supposed to do on a college campus. And so the fact that this president and that professor are being penalized, punished for
their views,
for having a conversation, an ideological conversation, that student could have walked out of the class if they didn't like it. But, let me say this to that student, like, hey, you're going to have a tough life if you think that for the rest of your life, you can self-select which ideologies you can engage with. Life is about that, and that's what you're supposed to learn in college.
So Doug, the president of the college, former president, says he fired the instructor because the course, quote, contained content that did not align with any reasonable expectation of standard curriculum for the course. The Washington Post reports that the book in the class was Jude Saves the World. An attorney for the fired instructor said, quote, the main character, Jude, is non-binary. The plot largely deals with Jude's difficulties with ADHD in school, their relationships with their friends, mother and grandparents, and their friend group's attempt to build an LGBTQ accepting social club in their town. Now, look, this isn't kindergarten, right? This is university, and presumably anybody in that class signed up to be in that class. Is this something a professor should be fired for?
Well, it certainly isn't something a president of a university should be fired for. And I do have questions of why children's book might be taught at a university, but that's sort of neither here nor there. I'm on a board for my alma mater, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and in that role, I've learned there's a real difference between public universities and private universities. They do answer to state legislatures, so politics enters the classroom in public universities a lot more than it would, say, at a private school like Georgetown or that school 9 miles away from Chapel Hill that I don't acknowledge. But this university president isn't somebody who could really readily be defined as woke or anything like that. He was a 4-star general. He was on the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It's really hard to, I would think, credibly then pigeonhole somebody as being woke or anti-this or anti-that, unless you're looking at this purely through not just a partisan, but a real ideological lens where anything will bend to that lens.
All right, thanks to both of you.